Match 38 on Maharashtra Day in Mumbai. See, second from top take on second from bottom. It's Mumbai against Bengaluru at the Wankhede Stadium. It's Mumbai's penultimate home game this season. Of course, Qualifier 1 is also scheduled to be held at the Wankhede, but we'll come to that a little later. Our focus of attention is here. Bangalore, it's everything possible has gone wrong for them. Mumbai coming at the back of that exciting super over at Rajkot. Brad Hogg is going to talk to me about that game. Let's set up with match day match point number 1. And we speak about Mumbai, and the story has to be about Jasprit Bumrah. So we have picked him along with his fast bowling partner at the death, Mitch McClenaghan, and they are totally killing it at the death. Well, you saw Bumrah win it for Mumbai in the super over. McClenaghan had a day off, but together their numbers at the death seem to seriously be cause for concern for opposing batsmen. Now 31 overs between over 16 and 20 between them, 13 wickets at an economy of 8.8. The rest of the side going at 10.42, and they've tried the great Lasith Malinga there and it's not quite worked out, but these two seem to have hit some form. Let's get thoughts of Brad Hogg in 45 seconds. Hoggy, if you could sum up what Bumrah and McClenaghan get right that trouble opposing batsmen that even the likes of Lasith Malinga haven't necessarily got so far.
Well, McClenaghan's changed his varieties since we first saw him in the first couple of games, where he just tried to bowl the majority of the balls that he wanted to bowl short, whether it was quick and slower. Now he's had to go up to a good length and even bowl the or attempt to bowl the Yorkers, simply because batsmen have figured out what he's all about. Now Bumrah, he's got a very quick arm action and he likes to bowl those quicker Yorkers, but also he's got a well-disguised slower ball, which we saw in the power play the other day, or the super over against the likes of McCallum and Finch. They couldn't lay bat on it. They looked like amateurs, those two batsmen, against Bumrah. He bowled exceptionally well. Now the reason is they've got a quick arm action and they just do it all at the latest possible time they can with their wrists and fingers to bowl their variations. Okay,
just about got it in time. One question on Bumrah. I'd love to know if you think he is the best Indian bowler at the death in this format. Compare him to Bhuvneshwar, who's been very good, Basil Thampi, young fellow, but does Bumrah stand out?
I think India have got two quality opening bowlers as well as death bowlers in Bhuvneshwar and Bumrah, and I'd like to see them play a lot more white ball cricket for India. I think they're going to be very hard customers for other international teams to take on.
There's a good chance you'll see that in the Champions Trophy coming up, should India decide to go there, but that's a conversation on another space. Watch the side for it. Let's move to match day match point number 2, and we are discussing one of the great batsmen, limited overs batsmen of the modern era, A.B. de Villiers. It is not often we get to talk about de Villiers having a poor run of form, but with 3 single-digit scores in his last 3 games, the first time it's happened in 8 years for de Villiers in T20 cricket, it is cause for concern, and it is no surprise that their poor season coincides with de Villiers' dip in form. Just an average of 30 Hoggy and a strike rate of 125. You compare that to the last 2 years, even when he didn't have a great year, he used to average 46 and hit it at over 170. Of course, he's had his share of injury. I wouldn't dare say that A.B. de Villiers is getting old, because it doesn't look like that. But what's gone wrong with A.B. de Villiers? Are bowlers getting smarter about it, or is it just a tired batsman now? What have you made of it? ABD in 45, off you go.
I think A.B. de Villiers has got a lot of issues at this present moment, just off field, not knowing exactly where he wants his cricket career to go. We look at what he's doing for South Africa. He's choosing tournaments of where he wants to play. I think his big priority is the 2019 World Cup. South Africa haven't won a World Cup, and he wants to be part of that first opportunity if they ever get there. The other thing is he's got his back injury. We see him not as sharp out in the middle. Coulter-Nile bowled him a bouncy the other day. He just hit it straight up in the air, then he went straight past the Tahir delivery. He just does not look the sharp A.B. de Villiers. And he rang his wife up the other day to gain some confidence. Don't normally see that in a quality player like this.
Does that help though? Have you ever rung your wife up in a bad patch and that's changed everything next game?
Depends which wife you're talking about. Not the first one. No. Definitely the second.
Let's move on. Let's not get into that territory. But A.B. de Villiers, Bangalore desperately need for him to at least hit some form, and maybe playing without much weight now that Bangalore are effectively out of the tournament could help their cause. Let's pick the 11s now. Brad Hogg has got his fingers into that squad. I wonder if he's made any changes to either team. We'll start with the Mumbai side now that Hoggy has picked, coming off that win against Gujarat at Rajkot. No changes for you, Brad Hogg. So Mitch Johnson, who had made way for Lasith Malinga, hit and miss Lasith Malinga in that game, but you persist with him, and that effectively now is a team that Mumbai should look to play for the rest of the tournament, you think, provided no injuries. Off you go, Hoggy.
Well, this is the last opportunity for Malinga. Simple as that. If he doesn't come up with the goods, he's got to go, and Johnson's got to come out because he's not delivering. The other thing which Mumbai would be worried about is their momentum over the last 3 games with the bat is just not good enough to play finals cricket. So they've got to make sure they turn things around and start preparing for the finals campaign if they want to be a big contender to take out this title. Because I can just see the momentum from the start slowly turning around, and I can really feel the pressure starting to get on Mumbai's shoulders.
Well, I hope Malinga and Harbhajan will be fit now, given they were unwell or injured and therefore couldn't field for 1 over in the Super Over, Hoggy.
Yes, we won't go into that. It's something that I'm not
very pleased about, yes.
But yeah, I'm not very pleased about that. You know, it's the ethics of cricket. If you can't field in that 1 over, and you partake in that 20 over period, I just don't think that's right. It's not in the spirit of cricket, and that's something that the lawmakers have got to look at.
Sure. All right. Let's see Bangalore now, and what do they do? Can they make any changes in that long bus ride that they'll have from the Mumbai-Pune Expressway to Mumbai? And you've not changed much in that team, so no place for Taimal Mills yet. You've persisted with Chris Gale being benched, Hoggy. They didn't have a great night out at Pune. Just why would you want to stick with the same 11? Do you believe this is the best 11 to try and get them some results, even if they may be consolatory in nature? Off you go.
To me, RCB are out of the tournament. Simple as that. They've got nothing to achieve now, and for the rest of this tournament, it's about individuals trying to get their name up and trying to get results and performances on the board for teams to pick them up in next year's auction if they want to persist with it. Because if you look at this team, or if you look at the auction next year, I think if RCB had the choice, they're only going to keep 1 or 2 players in this team. They're not going to keep the 5 if that rule still applies. So me, it's just individuals trying to put performances on the board. There's nothing for them to gain RCB with the new auction coming up next year.
Right in time. Last question, just are they more dangerous now that they're out of it? And do you expect a better performance? Give me a prediction as well for this one.
I'm not really expecting anything more. I just think the oxygen's gone out of RCB. The way they've performed in the last 3 games is not up to standard at this level, and I just don't think they can turn it around.
Okay, well, we have to qualify this by saying that they aren't mathematically out of it. Everything seems to suggest that there will be 4 better teams to go through, but we'll of course have that conversation as the week goes on. But it's almost certain that it'll be that RCB will find it extremely hard to make it now to the top 4. Well, let's move on to the second game then on Monday, and it is a massive game for the Gujarat Lions, who would still be recovering from that enthralling super over finish against Mumbai. They ended up on the wrong side of that. They travelled to Pune, and Pune themselves have strung a few results their way that put them in the top 4 as they enter this game. And this win effectively could increase their chances of getting there. And Gujarat Hoggy, on the other hand, fear that if they lose, they could very well get out. Let's go to matchday match point number 1 and see what Pune's overseas combinations look like. Has that been a key to their success in the last few games? And have they finally got the right code? Now, admittedly, Hoggy, they are without Ben Stokes. We assume for maybe another game, or whether he comes back, it's a bit uncertain from the camp. But he's still with the squad. They've gone with, first they went with Dan Christian and Faf du Plessis. That didn't work. And then they've, of course, gone for Lockie Ferguson, and that was that worked very well. Man of the match performance against Bangalore the other night at Pune. So just looking at that, would you go with the same 4, which is Steve Smith, Christian Ferguson and Imran Tahir? And then would Christian replace Ben Stokes when fit? How do you see Pune, and have they managed to get a balance or crack the code for their overseas player? Off you go in 45.
I think they've cracked the code now because they've got the likes of Tripati, Tawari and Dhoni even finding a bit of form, and then you've got Rahane up there, and Christian coming in down the bottom there. I think that's perfect because he's a power hitter. If there's only 4 overs left, he's the one that can do the damage, and I think he can bat a little bit better than Stokes. I think his bowling's better than Stokes out the moment as well. He's got a better economy rate. They need Ferguson and Tahir in there. Ferguson, power bowler, quick, and he can break through the top of opposition batsmen. And then you've got Tahir, who comes in those middle order, in those middle overs with his spin variations, breaking through that middle order and really putting the opposition on the back foot. I just think that's the best balance.
Wow, so are you telling me even if Ben Stokes is fit, as of now, you don't see a place for him in this
Definitely
11?
not. Definitely not. Not with the way that the Indian batsmen are batting, and I just think Christian finds the boundary a lot better than what Ben Stokes is, and his economy rate with the ball at the moment is a hell of a lot better than what Ben Stokes is.
Wow, well that's a lot of money which won't be put to use, but it's on form. That's the tough call a franchise needs to make, especially now as we enter the crunch phase of the league part of the IPL. Let's move to match point number 2 for this one, and we have to talk about the Gujarat Lions and what a big blow for them in that game. Not only did they end on the losing side against Mumbai, they lost Andrew Tye to an awkward bit of fielding, which has resulted unfortunately in a dislocated shoulder, and he's been officially ruled out for the rest of the tournament. Just when he was picking up and becoming a mainstay, and just when Gujarat thought that they had their overseas combination set like Pune. That's going to change now, and if you look at the options, Hoggy, of who could replace Andrew Tye in that team. Now we know that James Faulkner, Aaron Finch and Brendan McCullum are the preferred overseas players. They could go with Dwayne Smith, bring him back, and he could bowl a couple of overs. He's not been the bowler that Andrew Tye has been for them. Obviously Chirag Suri is a UAE bat that they've got. I doubt we'll see him. Jason Roy, the other overseas players. So it's not like they've got too many overseas options. But if you look at pace bowling options, Nathu Singh, if he's fit, they've tried Manpreet Goni, Munaf Patel, Praveen Kumar and Dhaval Kulkarni all at different times. None of them have merited a place. Nathu Singh, maybe you could find a place back. How would they replace Andrew Tye, and how big a blow is this? 45 seconds.
Oh, it's a huge blow. It's a big blow. He's probably been their best bowler, not only just with economy rate, but also wickets. He's taken the majority of wickets down there. I think he's the only wicket taker that's got over 6 wickets for the team. So it's a huge loss. There's no doubt about it. So they're going to have to go batting heavy. I'd say that they're going to have to go Roy, and they're going to have to utilise overs from Rayner. I think Rayner's bowled exceptionally well. He's got a very good economy, and he can slow things up. Tampy's got to definitely go bowl. And Nathu Singh, I've been very impressed with him, but he looks like he's injury prone. So they probably have to go back to the experience of Praveen Kumar, Kulkarni, even Munaf Patel. Munaf Patel's bowled well in the game that he's played, but for them, they have to go batting heavy and try and put big scores on the board.
Well, why don't we move to picking the 11s for Brad Hogg and take this conversation in detail of who Gujarat can field, what are the combinations that they can try against Pune. We're going to start with the home team though, as far as the Rising Pune Super Giant go. Win now at their preferred home would do all right. 3-2 their record at home at the moment. Hoggy, you've not made any changes of course to that team, so you're sticking with the exact same 11s. So Deepak Chahar keeps his place even if Shardul Thakur is fit and fine. I wonder what you make of that selection. And take me through, I think you also like that batting order with Tiwari at 4 and MS Dhoni at 5. 45 seconds for you to run through that side.
Yeah, I just think their batting order, they've become one of the stronger batting orders in the competition. It's just their 2 overseas, their 2 Indian quicks that are probably the biggest problem. Chahar, he's got to lift. He's got to stand up and just do a roll, do what the captain's asked of him, and hopefully he can perform. I think that's probably their only weak link now is Unadkat standing up and continuing to be able to handle the pressure, and Chahar or Thakur being able to stand up as well and handle the pressure. So it's up to the 2 quicks from India to handle that pressure.
And I repeat again, there's no place for $1 million man Ben Stokes in Red Hogg's 11.
Well, absolutely not. As I explained before, I think Daniel Christian's taken the opportunity with both bat and ball.
Yes, well now let's look at the Gujarat Lions 11 and see who Brad Hogg has picked. He's got the enormous task of trying to fill in the void that Andrew Tye's exclusion from the tournament now has left. Now, you've gone for Jason Roy to strengthen the batting as a result, Hoggy. And as far as the bowling changes, only the one game for Irfan Pathan for you. Back in comes Nathu Singh if fit, and Ankit Soni takes the spinning responsibilities with Ravindra Jadeja. Just looking at that batting order to wonder where you put Jason Roy. Would Ishan Kishan continue at the top? 45 seconds for you to answer a lot of questions about the Gujarat Lions.
No, Kishan's got to stay at the top. Jason Roy comes in out six just to strengthen that batting lineup. James Faulkner play a little cameo out the end if needed. Hopefully he doesn't have to come out and bat. I've really impressed with Soni, the leg spinner. I think he's going to play a big role, and I think they're going to utilise Jadeja and Rayner to bowl their 4 overs, depending on whether it's a right-hand, left-hander out in the middle. The Super Giants are predominantly right-handers, so you'll probably expect Jadeja on that Pune wicket to bowl his 4 overs out and do a good job. They rely heavily on Jadeja. Nathu Singh, I think he's the bee's knees. Tampy's been brilliant, but their travel over the last couple of weeks has just been too much for them. I don't think they've got enough energy to take on Super Giant down
and there goes the buzzer as well. Thank you, Brad Hogg. Always a pleasure. You can continue getting Brad's thoughts through the course of this IPL. We're entering the business end now of the league phase, so big doubleheader on Monday. Catch the live show at 7:30 on the site as well as on our Facebook page. All our content on Facebook, including the Facebook Live mid-innings of the 8 p.m. kickoff. Make sure that you tune in to us at that time and subscribe to our content on YouTube as well.